In a small coastal town where the sea whispered secrets to the cliffs, lived a woman named Ilara. Life had dimmed her, a broken engagement 5 years earlier, a job that drained her creativity, and the slow drift of friendships had left her heart quiet to quiet. The spark she used to feel, that warm flicker deep in her chest when something beautiful touched her soul, had gone out like a candle in the rain. Ilara worked at the local lighthouse gift shop, selling postcards and seashell keychains to tourists who came for the view but never stayed. Every evening she walked the same path home, past the old wooden pier where couples still held hands and laughed under string lights. She envied them quietly. Their sparks were visible bright eyes, flushed cheeks, the way they leaned into each other as if gravity pulled them together. Ilara's own heart felt like cold ash. One winter evening, as fog rolled in thick from the ocean, a stranger appeared at the shop just before closing. He was tall, with salt and pepper hair and eyes the color of storm clouds after the rain clears. His name was Theo, and he asked for a simple thing, a candle that smelled like rain and pine. "We don't have that one," Ilara said, glancing at the shelves. "But I can show you something close." She handed him a small jar labeled Coastal Twilight. As their fingers brushed, something strange happened. Not electricity, not a dramatic shock, just a tiny, almost forgotten warmth in her chest. Like a match struck in a dark room, faint but real. She blinked, surprised. Theo smiled gently. "Thank you. I've been looking for something to light my studio again." He left with the candle and a quiet "see you around." Ilara thought nothing more of it until 3 days later, when she found a small note slipped under the shop door after hours. The candle worked. The painting came alive. "If you ever want to see what a spark can do, come to the pier at dusk tomorrow." Theo's curiosity tugged at her stronger than fear. The next evening, she walked to the pier. Theo was there, easel set up, painting the horizon where the last orange light bled into the sea. Around him lay sketches, dozens of them, of ordinary things made extraordinary. A single wave curling like a question mark. A gull mid-flight with wings edged in gold. The silhouette of the lighthouse against a bruised sky. "You're an artist?" she asked. "Trying to be again," he replied. "I stopped painting after my wife passed. Grief put the brushes away, but something told me it was time to start." Ilara sat on the bench nearby, watching him work. He didn't force conversation. He just painted, and slowly she began to talk about the fireflies she used to chase. About how she once wrote poetry on napkins, about how somewhere along the way she'd forgotten how to feel wonder. Theo listened without judgment. When the sky turned indigo, he turned the easel toward her. "This one's for you." The canvas showed a woman standing on the beach at twilight. Her back was to the viewer, hair blowing in the wind, but in her open palm rested a tiny glowing ember, like a star that had fallen gently into her hand. The light from it touched her face, soft and warm, awakening something in her expression. "That's how I saw you the first day," Theo said, "carrying a spark you didn't know was still there." Ilara stared at the painting. Tears came without warning, hot and sudden. "I thought it was gone forever. It was only waiting," he said. Sparks don't die. They hide when the world feels too heavy. But one kind word, one honest moment, one brush of connection and they wake up again. That night, Elara didn't sleep. She sat on her tiny balcony overlooking the dark water and remembered. She remembered the way music used to make her chest ache with joy. She remembered laughing until her sides hurt with friends who had drifted away. She remembered the feeling of being truly seen. The next morning, she did something she hadn't done in years. She wrote, not a poem, just a letter to herself. "Dear Elara, I'm sorry I let the world convince you your light was too small to matter. It isn't. It never was. Today, let the spark breathe. Let it grow. You don't need permission. You already have it." She folded the note, tucked it into her pocket, and went to work. Over the following weeks, small changes bloomed. She started greeting customers with real smiles instead of polite ones. She played music in the shop's oft acoustic songs that reminded her of summer nights. One afternoon, she even danced a little behind the counter when no one was looking. A child saw her and giggled, clapping along. Elara laughed out loud, freely. The sound surprised her. It felt like coming home. Theo became a quiet presence. They met at the pier most evenings. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes they sat in comfortable silence. He never pushed it. He simply shared his light so hers could remember how to shine. One spring evening, as cherry blossoms drifted like pink snow across the water, Elara turned to him. "I used to think a spark was something someone else gave you," she said, "like a gift or a lightning strike. But it's not. It's already inside. We just forget to tend it." Theo nodded, and sometimes we need someone to remind us where the matches are. They watched the sun sink, painting the sea in rose and gold. Elara felt it then, the familiar warmth spreading through her chest. Steady now, no longer fragile. Not just a flicker, but a gentle flame. Months later, the town held its annual lantern festival. Hundreds of paper lanterns floated into the night sky, each carrying a wish or a memory. Elara stood on the beach with Theo, holding her own lantern. Inside, she had placed a note she'd written to herself. She released it as it rose, joining the constellation of glowing hopes. She turned to Theo. "Thank you for seeing the spark when I couldn't." He smiled, eyes soft. "Thank you for letting it burn bright again." The lantern climbed higher, its light joining thousands of others. A reminder that every heart carries a spark. Some are hidden under ash, some flicker weakly, but none are ever truly extinguished. And in that small coastal town, under a sky full of floating stars, Elara knew the spark hadn't returned because of someone else. It had returned because she had finally chosen to let it live. So if you're listening right now, wherever you are, pause, place your hand over your heart. Feel that quiet rhythm. That's not just blood moving through veins. That's your spark, still there, waiting for you to notice it, to feed it, to let it grow into something beautiful. Because the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more lit hearts glowing, warm, brave enough to shine even when the night feels long. So go ahead, strike the match. Feel free to adapt it for your video style. Add pauses for emotion, soft music cues, or visuals of beaches, lanterns, and glowing lights. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version, a different tone, or any changes. Keep igniting those hearts. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more romantic stories like this. I'll see you again in another new video. Until then, take care, stay healthy, and stay safe. Wishing you all the best. Goodbye for now, and thank you.